Mammoth sunflower info and care. Irresistibly beautiful, the mammoth sunflower will give any garden a special, almost cheerful atmosphere. Due to its huge flowers with a magical yellow-black contrast, the precious plant from the Asteraceae family can hardly be ignored in any landscape design. This eye-catching bright accent in your garden is much more than mere decoration. In the flowering phase, it attracts many pollinators, which brings liveliness to the garden, and in autumn it provides a tasty snack for you or numerous birds if you do not watch it. What is mammoth sunflower? Among almost countless sunflower varieties, the mammoth sunflower, or Helianthus annuus giganteus in every aspect, justifies this name. This fast-growing annual can reach 10 to 12 feet in height and 12 to 18 inches wide, with flower heads up to 14 inches in diameter. The stems are single and do not branch, so each plant bears one enormous flower. The stalk is initially thin and soft, but over time it hardens and becomes woody. Large, up to 12 inches long, thin papery leaves with slightly toothed edges grow on long petioles alternately from the bottom to the top of the stem. The spindly root of the plant is well developed, penetrating the soil up to 4 feet, and the strong side branches of the root can grow up to 3 feet and have great suction power. At the top of the stem in summer, a huge disc-shaped flower head with a dark heart surrounded by golden yellow petals is formed. The pollinated flowers produce hundreds of edible, striped, elongated teardrop-shaped seeds that inspired the name gray-striped sunflower. The plant is also known as the Russian giant sunflower because this variety originated in a breeding program in Russia and was introduced to America at the end of the 18th century. How to grow mammoth sunflower. Growing a giant sunflower is easy even for beginners. In fact, it is one of those plants that, after sowing the seeds, can be left on their own since nature will do the rest. Sowing seeds outdoors. You can sow sunflower seeds outdoors in mid-April or early May when the soil warms to at least 45 degrees Fahrenheit. The soil must first be cleaned of weeds and loosened. Place the seeds in a trench or individual pits at a depth of 1 to 1.5 inches and with a spacing of 3 to 5 inches. When the seedlings sprout, thin them out, leaving the strongest and largest ones. Sowing seeds indoors. If you want just a few specimens, you can plant the seeds indoors in individual pots 3 inches deep and wide, as early as mid-March. Transplant the seedlings to a permanent place in the garden when the danger of late frost has passed, usually in the first decade of May in the temperate zone. Plant them in holes 1 inch wider than the root volume, 2 to 3 feet apart, so each plant has enough room to grow. Soil. The giant sunflowers do not have great requirements regarding the chemical composition of the soil. It suits all types of soil except shallow and skeletal. The most favorable soils for growing are loose, fertile soils with a deep humus layer and neutral pH reactions. Light. As the name suggests, sunflowers grow best if exposed to the sun all day. In addition to the fact that direct light encourages the growth and development of healthy and strong plants, the sunny position allows you to observe the spectacular movement of the flower head during the day. They follow the sun from the morning till the sunset, when the spectacle ends in facing the ground. Giant sunflowers can grow in less sun, but the minimum that provides optimal results should not exceed 6 hours a day. Temperature. The ideal temperature for growing giant sunflower ranges from 55 degrees Fahrenheit at the beginning of growth to 95 degrees Fahrenheit during flowering and seed formation. Due to the short vegetative period, it can be grown even in colder climate zones, 3 to 5, but it tolerates the conditions in climatic zones from 6 to 10 equally well. In the phase of intensive oil synthesis in the seeds, for the highest quality, the temperature should not be more than 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Too high temperatures cause dry and less tasty seeds. Watering. Since the mammoth sunflower has a strong and developed root, it can draw water from the deeper soil layers, so a large amount of water is unnecessary for its development. The greatest need for water is from flowering to grain formation. In other words, you can water it additionally only in case of a long dry period. You can easily recognize a thirsty plant by its limp, hanging leaves. Fertilizing. You might think that a plant that grows so fast and intensively, at least 6 inches per week, requires a lot of nutrients and regular feeding. However, the powerful deep root of the giant sunflower shows another advantage here too. It uses nutrients from the soil at depths that are usually unavailable to other annual crops. Therefore, additional feeding is not necessary. However, on poorer soils, it will benefit from a thin layer of compost or a slow-release granular fertilizer with an NPK ratio of 10-10-10 or 1 with a smaller proportion of nitrogen, such as NPK 5-10-10. Harvesting. Giant sunflower goes from sowing to flowering in 75 to 90 days, depending on conditions. Therefore, flowers are formed in mid-July in plants sown in open ground at the end of April. But for harvesting, you should wait at least one more month until all the flower petals wither, the leaves start to turn yellow, and the formed seeds look bumpy. Then, cut off a common stalk at least 5 inches long and hang it upside down in a dry, shady place. You can put a paper bag over the flower head so the seeds that fall out do not scatter on the floor. Or, after 4 to 5 days, you can manually separate the seeds. Diseases. Although it looks robust, the giant sunflower has a delicate structure of stems, leaves, and flower heads, so in wetter and rainier years, it is prone to attacks of fungal diseases. The most common diseases are gray spotting of the stem, flame blight, and brown spotting of sunflowers. If some of them appear in the early stage, they can cause the plant to fail. To prevent it, you can use mild chemical fungicides designed for edible plants. Pests. The most common pests that cause damage are aphids, wireworms, field bugs, and the corn moth. But do not worry, they can be easily removed using insecticides or neem oil. Of course, if you don't want to share the seeds with birds who can't resist them, pick the flower heads before they ripen and start dropping to the ground on their own. The birds will see this as an open invitation to a feast, so you'll have to make do with what's left behind, if there's anything left. And that's everything you need to know to grow and care for the majestic mammoth sunflower in your garden. With their towering presence and radiant blooms, these giants truly capture the essence of summer and bring a sense of awe and delight to any space. If you've enjoyed diving into the world of mammoth sunflowers and are curious about more varieties, why not continue exploring? Check out this video, Common Sunflower Info and Care, where we explore another beloved sunflower variety that might be perfect for your garden, or even as a project with the kids. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you won't miss out on our future gardening tips and guides. Until next time, life is better when you garden.